Warning, this is not going to be an easy watch, so it is okay if you skip it, but it is part of my journey. So if you want to, watch. If you don't, it's okay. Welcome back. This episode is going to be quite a hard one to do. And I have put off recording it for a couple of weeks because I try and prep what I want to say every time, and even just jotting down my bullet points has been a hard thing to do. One of the big things that you have to deal with post-heart attack is something that you don't think about or consider, and they don't tell you, which is anxiety and stress that comes from that. You had a major incident in your life where, let's be honest, you could have died, and that's really hard to deal with. I thought I'd be okay doing that, and I haven't been. I wasn't okay with it, and my body definitely wasn't okay with it. I developed a rash post-heart attack that has required ongoing medical treatment, but it was only associated with the heart attack about 6 months ago. So I had a long time of going from pillar to post as to what was wrong. That did include 5 overnight stays in hospital on 2 separate occasions, and has resulted in a lot more medication where they've tried things and that haven't worked, including steroids, and steroids are not the best thing to take. So medically I now have something else because of it. The heart may be doing great, but other parts of my body aren't. I'm on tablets at the moment that are wreaking havoc with my weight loss, which is a pain, and with my stomach, but we will get to the bottom of it, literally. I know I've said it's a hard episode, so I don't mean to smile, but the rash is an intimate rash, let's put it that way. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm saying this. But anyway, that has been a big thing. Other things that have caused stress and anxiety, particularly straight after the heart attack, was lack of contact from people. I didn't have any visitors in the hospital, and I was okay with that, but I think, no, I wasn't actually, because you could see the looks from the nursing staff and the other patients that I'd had another day without visitors, and it did make me feel quite alone. And I'm quite a strong person, but I think I was concerned about other people thinking that I was a failure because nobody cared about me. And when you're stuck in bed and you don't have much contact with the outside world, I mean, I know I have my internet with me because I took my laptop and my internet box. You still feel alone. The only person that I had regular contact with was the daily call with Jules. He was my bit of sanity after my evening meal. Evening meals came around about 5 o'clock, 5:30, and so then I'd chat to him. but I didn't have a lot to say other than heart stuff, which I know was boring for him because I didn't have anything else to say. But I wanted to know what he was doing. I wanted to know what he was up to, because that gave me a distraction from everything. But being there was hard. I struggled. I struggled when I came out. I had my daily carers in, but then after they went, there was nothing. There are some local friends who I didn't tell and who since told me off. But the hospital I was in wasn't local. I think I may have said that where I live, although there's an A&E near where I live, near my house, which is say near 3 miles away, the cardiac is in a hospital 16-17 miles away, so it's not that easy to get to, or to expect people to travel to. So even local friends I didn't expect to come and see me, but just some internet contact to say hi, how you doing, would have helped. The only member of my family that I've seen or spoken to post all of this was my nephew Fabio, who came over from Bologna last September, and he didn't come to Shrewsbury, but we did meet up in London, which was wonderful because I got to meet his eldest daughter, who was born during lockdown. We met up on the South Bank, which was my old stomping ground in London, and it was just so lovely to see him and catch up. But he has been the only member of my family that I've seen, and again, that's been hard as well. It made me feel very unwanted, and has made me question my place in people's lives. But it's okay. It really is okay now. I am obviously telling you this after the event, and even now talking about it after the event is upsetting for me, but I am okay. I didn't want to reach out to people because other people have their own lives, but I was left with my own thoughts for way too much time, and I was a heart attack bore, as I said. Pre-heart attack, I used to hang out in Wales at my friend's place. If he was travelling, then I'd got access to his place. I had stuff there, including my favourite blanket, which I could go and just chill out in front of the fire. But his life moved on. He got a girlfriend, as friends do, and instead of talking to me a couple of times a week, we talk a couple of times a month, if that now. And I wasn't able to go and see him because he got his new partner with him. So I lost that closeness of my best friend, and that's okay. As I said, life life evolves for everybody, but it was hard. It was hard for me to come to terms with. He had, after all, been the person that saved my life, and I stupidly told him that I loved him, and I love him as a friend. I love him for the person that he's fun to hang out with, who I could be myself with, and suddenly I found myself not able to be myself around him anymore. I found myself filtering my words with him, because I was scared of saying the wrong thing, and I didn't like being in that position. So I don't really see him much, don't really talk to him much, and that's, as I said, it's life, but it was still something else to deal with, and I know probably didn't help the stress and anxiety. Where he lives in Wales is a village that was known to me before I met him, because as a teenager, after my mum died, I used to go to a disco in the local manor house's barn, and where I spent my misspent youth, if you want to call it that. So his village was always special to me, and his home was special to me, and I miss that as much as I miss him, to be honest. But I had to learn to deal with the stress. I will be honest, at times, left with my own thoughts, I did wish that I had died, and that I hadn't survived the heart attack. I know that sounds very wrong, but when you're struggling, and you're struggling with the thoughts post-heart attack, those things do cross your mind, and I was very aware of the fact that I had the heart attack on my own, then I probably would have died, and it's really difficult to come to terms with that. Sleep is still a problem for me, because I'm scared of not waking up, so I find myself having short bursts of sleep and waking up quite a lot just to check that I'm still alive. I know that sounds stupid, but that is an ongoing thing for me, and with all the stress, it turns out I've got high cortisol levels, which is something which I do need to address, because I'm not sleeping well at all, as much as I try, and I am trying lots of things which I will talk about in another episode. But I am still here, and I am okay. Those thoughts aren't in my head. I don't wish I wasn't here, because, as I said, I'm talking about how I was feeling before, and how it was in those first 6 months post heart attack, really. You may recall that I recorded an episode a few weeks ago where I talked to Jim, who has a podcast locally called Hello You, where he talks to local people who have something to say, and I did have something to say. I had something to say about life and about being alive, and I did pour my heart out to him, and that was a big turning point. It's still hard for me to listen to, but it did make me realise that there's been a lot of positive things. I have done a lot of positive things post heart attack, and I am still here. But if you're somebody watching this that's just had a heart attack, I wanted to tell you that actually the hardest thing isn't the heart attack itself. That's easy because you're in hospital and you get looked after. But when you come home and you're left with your own thoughts, whether you've got people around you or not, that I think has been the hardest thing. Food we can deal with, salt, sugar, alcohol, but anxiety is, and I'm not going to swear, is a bit of a brain, all the swear words, but it does get better. If it didn't get better, then I wouldn't be here now talking to you. But it's still a part of my journey and you need to know about it. But next time I have good things to tell you. Oh, believe me, oh. Not the way I wanted to end an episode, but if you've stuck this out, thank you for watching. If you haven't and you've scrolled all the way to this point, then that's fine too. Next time will be okay. Thank you for watching.
I did warn you it was going to be hard, but I promise you, next time you'll see me on the other side of things, and I'll tell you all the things which I've done that are positive to help with my well-being. If you like what I'm doing, then it would be great if you could like, comment, subscribe, and share with anyone you think may find this interesting. Also, if you ring the bell, you'll get notifications when I upload my next video.